Okay, this isn't a bad room actually from the video side, but it's quite small. The space, right? It's like staying in Shanghai, Beijing. The space is at a premium, or in Shanghai, right? Hong Kong. Space is at a premium, so it's quite small. My room, it's a double bed. But yes, I was so foolish. I'll explain to Eric. Not getting my visa. What was the visas? I Hanua. Oh, my wife's told me many times, so I didn't get it. So waiting on that, but I've been able to spend time with my uncle. So it is Saturday, January 28th at 6 a.m. in America. So it is 2 hours ahead. Yo, yes, measure, right? So 2 hours ahead. So it is 8 p.m. in China. So let me pull up Eric here. Yes. Happy New Year. 新年快乐,朋友. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you again after the Chinese New Year and wish you a Chinese New Year too.
Yes, the year of the rabbit. That was my birthday, was the year of the rabbit.
Yes.
So I was just saying to the recording before you came in. So this is my hotel room in Chicago because I was so stupid that I forgot to get my visa for Vietnam because my brain, right, it was too crazy. I was dealing with so many family things. So I got the visa on the internet on the 20th. I applied for it, but they have their Lunar New Year in Vietnam, right?
Yes.
So they were out of the office, so I had to stay, but it was good. So I've been able to see my uncle every day at the hospital. So it's been okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get my visa and I will be flying back Tuesday. But yeah, as you can see, so this is Eric, quite different. It's like Beijing or Shanghai. So like, and this would be maybe a dorm room if you come to
Yes.
Chicago. I'll show you, like, this is like East Coast dorm rooms, right, for university. So pretty small. I have the double bed. And then it's really a small room, but it's so expensive, right? Because like Chicago, New Year, right? San Francisco, it's so expensive and it's so small.
Yes.
So it's crazy, right? If you go somewhere, like a bigger school, right, you'll have more space, right? But excellent. So what did you do for your holiday?
Um, so as usual, annually as the same as the past years, I went back to the countryside where my grandparents live, which is my father's parents, and then we celebrated the festival together.
Good. So is that a tradition?
Yes, it is a tradition for all family members to come to the place where they grew up and where they were born and to
Ah,
meet their parents and
right,
grandparents.
right. That seems to be a New Year's, right? A New Year's tradition. Is that a tradition then for you and your family to go to your
Um,
father's because they're closer, go to your father's, your grandparents, your father's parents?
yes, that's right.
Good, very cool. What's the difference? Do you know the difference between like a tradition and a custom?
Um, so I know both of them tradition. It's the thing that you do every year. You form the rule, not the rule, but it's just that you don't have to let someone notice you. It's what you do on your own. And that's what you need to do every year. And a custom, I think it's similar to a tradition, but I can't tell the differences between them.
Yes, I would say, yeah, a custom is similar. It's an action maybe, or something that you do. Maybe right, gay nine a home ball. So you give her like the red envelope, maybe with a little money.
Yes.
That would be a custom. It could also maybe be a tradition. A tradition doesn't have to happen, I don't think, annually, right? I mean, like every year. I think a tradition can happen over several years, but it's repetitive, it repeats.
Yes.
And then a custom can just be something that you you do, right? Like for IELTS, generally before right? We would shake hands in the West. Like if you go in for your IELTS exam, you would shake hands, right? With the nice to meet you, right? That would be a
Yes.
custom, right? But maybe even today, right? It's like urban, right? In Japan, they will still bow. So that will be a custom, maybe not a tradition, maybe more of a custom, but they're very
Mm.
similar, very similar. All right, excellent, man. You did some work. How was the reading? Did you enjoy reading a little bit this week?
Yes.
Good. All right, cool. All right, so another, yeah, I always like that. Again, that's always going to change, Eric. So that's excellent. And then after finishing Malala's book through chapter 10, Mr. Kong in one page, right? So that's the directive. That is the creative desire, right? Within one page. Now, I've had teachers, I've had science teachers, I've had even math teachers when you're doing written problems. We'll say within a paragraph, right? They don't want to read something huge. They'll say 1 page, 2 page, or they'll say, I've even had on an essay say by the word. So you have to actually literally count the word. That was a pain in the butt. So of course that's just the direction, but make sure you always, follow that in everything in your Chinese studying too, right? So
Yes.
after finishing Malala's book through chapter 10, 1 page, right? Draft, you can say draft, write. Nowadays, everyone is typing or on your
Yes.
phone, right? You tap. So it's just a different verb. You get tonza, right? Draft an essay and what feelings you, right? So it's okay. Well, that's interesting. You would have through this part of her book or journey. So when the author, or I'm not the author, when the teacher, the instructor, wants you to relate to a character or transpose, like be that character. How does it make you feel? What would you have done in that situation? Do you think it's right that Malala does X and not Y, right? Does something. What would that essay, Eric, be called? What do you think?
Um, I'm not sure about that, but I think that's the kind of essay that you have to give explanations
It
about
could
the
be,
why and how.
yeah, it could be comparative, right? Correlative, comparing you to Malala, right? It could be. But I would say it's more of a reflective or reflective, I guess would be the best word. Reflective
Yes.
essay, right? You are reflecting what Malala, like you are seeing yourself in Malala's shoes, right? Which is also a slang, right? So you are pretending to be her, reflecting, right? Like you look in a mirror, reflective. How would that make you feel, right? Try and be her, pretend to be her. All right, excellent. Did you complete the task? All right, very good. Now I would have probably gotten in trouble and I would have asked my teacher, I would have said, well, does the 1 page constitute, right? This, like, can you take this out? So should it be a page and a half? But I don't know, right? All right. So 3 precious traits that teenagers lack. Okay, Eric, how would you structurally, how would you change this to a more of an APA or a Chicago style is the style actually of writing, but APA which is probably more what you will do, the American practice. What does APA standards stand for? Hold on a second. APA writing style. Yeah, I keep forgetting. But APA, but what does APA stand for? APA
Yeah, I have searched that. It's American
American.
Psychological Association.
Is it? Good for you, Eric. God, you beat me on that. I was going to say something all grammar like American pronunciation, right? But I think you are absolutely right. Psychological association style of writing. Yes, APA. You are Eric. Good. You already got 1,000 points for today. There's also, believe it or not, bizarrely enough, there's also Chicago format, which is weird. I don't know why. Chicago, which is a little bit different format of academic writing. Yeah, Chicago paper should be written with a 12-point Times New Roman, right? It's similar, very similar, just little nuances are different. So in the APA style, how would you change your title? What would you do a little bit better, a little bit different and more correct, I guess?
Well, I don't really understand what the APA style want us to let the title be like.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I want to, whenever you do have a chance, and I mean, you're so young, so it's fruitless, but I sent that above. Maybe if you guys still have those books, you and your parents, right? To get the elements of style. And, every once in a while, just if you're curious, just flip through the book. You can get it online too, and it will just help you to prepare us again, especially if you want to study, at a native English school. So in essence, the title, it's like everything in life. How you can equate a paper, an academic paper. So if you go to a restaurant, what do you think the bigger characters, the Chinese characters, what are they going to say? What are they going to read at a restaurant?
So the first one must be the restaurant's name, and then
Yes, okay, stop. Zoe, yeah, Pengyoyo, Garrett, great. So this is the name, literally the name of your paper. So then it needs to be more pronounced, right? It needs to be bigger. It needs to catch the reader's eye, right? This is the intent of why you would change this to make this bigger, right? So it catches the eye. Obviously, they will better explain it in the book as to why they do this, but it's automatically. So you grab the reader's attention, right? So you did great. You capitalized 3. So what would you do to Precious?
and then capitalize P.
Correct. You don't capitalize the whole word. No, that's even more ridiculous. But you do the same for traits, and you do the same for teenagers, that and lack. So you really have no prepositions, which I love, right? The 3-letter words. I guess
Mm.
the rule is when I was growing up too. Maybe it's changed. I don't know. The rule is if it's a bigger than 3-letter word, you capitalize the first letter, right? So in 3,
Yes.
there's 5, right? And you just do this because that's important. You just want to grab the reader's attention and make them keep reading, right? So 3 precious traits of teenagers lack. Eric, that's awesome. That's a great. That's an interesting title, right? It makes me want to read more. That's great. Okay, on one page, what feelings would you use? Okay, all right, good. So after reading the 10th chapter of I Am Malala, good, that is the book. I'm gonna, again, it's been a while since I've taught academic writing, and it changes like every year, but I'm still certain this is the standard, right? Is to put it in normal quotes.
Yes.
Do you know the difference between, let's just drag this on, right? Normal quotations and then abbreviations, like the 1 versus the 2 versus the 1?
I'm not sure about it in English, but in Chinese, I'm quite sure about this one. So when in Chinese, someone's saying or what someone tells somebody, the words must be in the 2-1, and when somebody is like, well, it's complex to say because when you have a 2-1, and then if you want to add one inside of it you can't add a 2-1 again. You
No,
have to use
yeah,
a
yeah, that's
1.
that's the same. That's a little bit more intricate, but that was excellent. That was very good. Right, generally it's something that someone says verbatim, which is a Latin word meaning, and I'll type that in for you here down here if you want. There's a lot again, right? You know that a lot of English words came from Latin origins, right? So verbatim, it means saying something word for word, right? Without changing it. So if I
Yes.
say, Eric, yeah, oh, you're an excellent you're a speaker, excellent English oral speaker, right? So you are an excellent English oral, right? Well, that's redundant. Excellent English speaker, right? Okay. Now that is, I've said that verbatim, word for word. That is what I said. Now you can paraphrase, right? This is to paraphrase something. So if you were writing this and you said, well, Cliff said, or my teacher Cliff said, I'm decent. I'm a decent English. I'm decent at English, right? So it's similar to this,
Yes.
right? But you're paraphrasing. It's similar, but it's not exact. It is not verbatim. Now I know what you were saying, and I think these are all throughout language are used similarly. Now I know what you're saying, right? So if I said, so Cliff said to me, you are an excellent, you are an excellent English speaker, comma, but then stated, no, hold on a second. I know what you're saying. Hold on. Excellent English speaker. So Cliff said to me, you are an excellent English speaker with ending with a preposition, with multiple skills. Okay, now, like, I'm putting multiple skills, paraphrasing this, right? Because maybe what I actually said was, Eric, you are an excellent English speaker that can create many different ways of communication, as well as your writing skills are drastically getting better. So
Yeah.
you've
So it's just a
condensed,
change.
yes, exactly, right? You condensed all that to just telling your friend or telling your parents, right? Cliff said with multiple skills. So you are paraphrasing, right? You are, narrowing it down or changing it for your own purpose, right? Something like
Yes.
that. Okay. All right. So let's get rid of that. Oh, we can leave that on. That's fine. I'll send it back to you. All right. 3 precious traits that teenagers lack. After reading the 10th chapter of I Am Malala, again, all right, yeah, just switch that over to parentheses, because that's a book. Now, again, if it's Chicago, or, your teachers will tell you at the beginning of your term, if you go to your international high school, or if you go to, again, university, anywhere, they'll say, I want all my papers in APA, 12-point font, blah, blah, blah. So that's what you're going to be doing your whole term on. So if that's the case, if you know APA, I don't know, again, APA, they might have the title in the book, Eric, italicized, right? They may have it
Maybe.
emboldened, or they may even have it underlined. I don't know. So just pay attention, right? Because those are the instructions from your instructor, right? All right. So after reading the 10th chapter of I Am Malala, something's bothering me about 10th chapter. 10th, I think, is all right. I'm wondering if you need that capitalized or not. I don't know. That's not a big issue. That's right. All right. So after reading the 10th chapter of I Am Malala, Malala's ethics and behaviors enlighten me. All right. Well, you're already an American, Eric. I've already made you an American because you're not using yous.
Yeah, it's
All
because
right. That's right.
when I yeah, it's because when I add a U, when I type in a U in the application, which is words, and
Yeah.
then it said that I am writing the wrong word, so I have to change it into no U.
Interesting. I wonder if the Chinese program, well, it's probably like half and half. They probably adopt, like if you have the Chinese word program, does it adopt more of a British or or an American? Like that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay.
I think it adapts more American English.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I've had students that write both. I mean, yeah, to each your own. I would again, like when you take the IELTS, so and you're smart enough, I would definitely try to think like a British, right, when you're writing. Okay, after reading the 10th chapter by Malala's ethics and behaviors enlighten me. It's kind of, again, mythical or mystical, and you can have your hypothesis, right? We talked about that within the first 3 sentences, but always like that first sentence, you always want to make it really attractive, right? Really wanting to jump in. So, or wanting the reader really wants to read more. Okay, from Malala, I realized 3 valuable qualities that nowadays teenagers lack. Okay, how can you change this to one sentence to make it really sound exciting?
Um,
Right. Again, I'm not a huge fan of starting or ending with prepositions. I mean, they're two good sentences, but I think you could combine them to make it even more powerful.
yeah, so I think we can say Malala's ethics and behaviors reveals 3 valuable
Okay, wait,
qualities.
hold on. That's good, Eric. Hold on. That's really good. Keep it in your head. Keep it in your ears. Okay. Malala's ethics, behaviors reveals.
And then 3 precious traits teenagers lack.
So Malala's ethics and behaviors reveals 3 precious, okay, traits that teenagers of today
Yeah, teenagers of today lack.
lack. Okay, that is good. I find that better. Um, so we already know that's the instruction to read Malala's book, right? So I don't know. Sometimes it's good to repeat it. Let's just reserve that. So Malala's ethics and behaviors reveal or reveals?
Yeah, reveal.
Malala's ethics and behaviors reveal 3 precious traits that teenagers of today lack. That's pretty good. All right, let's get rid of this. In reading, you can say that then. In reading through chapter 10. Oh, that's what it was. It was just the way how it was phrased. Usually you would say chapter 10, not 10th chapter. I mean, again, it's just, I don't know, it's just a little thing. So in reading through chapter 10 of her book, I guess, of her book, why not? Of her book. I do like enlighten me, but I wonder how we can phrase that better, right? Enlighten me. Let's get rid of that because you incorporated that. You can say, how about this, Eric? And then I'll let you correct yourself here again, though. These traits enlighten me. I like enlighten me, and then hopefully you expound on that, right? So enlighten me. Okay, so that's good. So as you can tell, like writing academic, especially English literature, it's more romantic, right? It's not as structured as like an IELTS essay can be very boring, right? It's supposed to be like tofu, all right? It's supposed to be more warming, more lovely, right? I guess adjectives. All right, so Malala is a normal teenager, but she has the courage to fight against the Pakistan Taliban to prevent her rights from being exploited. Okay, this is my teachers, I think would just be cumbersome. It's not redundant. You're not saying anything over, repeating anything. It's a little bit cumbersome, meaning it's a little bit heavy. So how could you change this to make that more interesting, this sentence? And to expound, right? How does it enlighten you, right? So once they, tell the reader how does it enlighten you? What's so enlightening?
Um,
I would say maybe like start off although, right? Although, right? There's always good comparing and bring in other matters to exchange. So although Malala is just a normal teenager, she has the courage to fight against the Taliban, the Pakistan Taliban. You can just say the Taliban, I don't know, not to include country, I don't know. So,
Yes.
to fight against the Taliban, to prevent. Again, yeah, this is my preposition. So let's keep this, but maybe like start it below. So, all right. So Malala's ethics and behaviors reveal 3 precious traits that teenagers today lack. That sounds better, right? No preposition above in there. In reading through chapter 10 of her book, yes, that's a incomplete sentence. So that was my fault, Eric. So in reading through chapter 10 of her book, these traits enlighten me. Yes, okay, right. So you're saying, all right, now you're going to expound what traits, right? So what traits? So although Malala is just a normal teenager, she has the courage to fight against the Taliban. Okay, so that is one trait. The first trait. You don't need this because you can explain it later on, right? You're going to explain what kind of courage that she had, what kind of fighting spirit. All right, so now the second one. She is also fond of political issues. And when people are forbidden to discuss, right? Again, this is redundant, Eric, right? Because you're using political twice. So you can just say discuss them, right? Because the reader will know, right? Discuss them. Okay, so she is also fond of political issues. And when people are forbidden to discuss them, do we need a comma? I don't think so. Oh yeah, good, Eric. She researches for sources where she can learn about global news. Okay, I get it. So what would this trait be in one word? So she's got strength, right? She's got courage, and then what is the other trait? The second trait.
The yarn to look for news and to study.
Yeah, so she's very studious, right?
Yeah.
She likes to study. Okay, right. I agree. Not many of us like to study nowadays, right? So I would say Malala's ethics and behaviors reveal 3 precious traits that today's teenagers today lack. Courage, studying, studying or being studious, studying. And what was the third one?
The third one is confidence.
And confidence. Good, Eric. Okay. Now, do we need studying and confidence? Maybe some. That's like a new age thing. I think we've talked about that, to put a comma there. I don't know if I agree with it. All right, so that's good. So now you are clearly identifying the 3 that you were going to be talking about. That's in your title. Okay. So Malala's ethics and behaviors reveal 3 precious traits that teenagers today lack: courage, studying, and confidence. Okay, that is your hypothesis. So let's make that wicked purple, man. Why not? We'll make that purple today. Okay, so that's good. I like that one. All right, so in reading through chapter 10, you can say of her book, or you can get rid of it. I don't know. It's up to you. Yeah, it's all right. These traits enlighten me. Good. Okay, now you're going to explain how they enlighten you, right? So although Malala is just a normal teen, she has a courage. So again, all right, this goes into the courage that you brought here. So we'll make that, let's make that yellow. Oh, bigger, better yellow. No, man. Make this red, I guess. Come on, what did I do here, Cliff? Okay, get rid of that. Sorry, Eric. No space. There we go. All right, we'll make that red. Okay, so red. Okay, and we're gonna make studying, whatever. We'll make it green. Okay, then we'll make confidence yellow. Those are easy colors. God, man, why is it such an ugly yellow, bro? All right, hold on. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's all right. All right, so courage to fight against the Taliban. Okay, pardon me. All right, so you've got one heck of a, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
A catch, right, or a hook or a hypothesis, whatever you want to say, what your essay is about, right? And then in reading through chapter 10 of her book, okay, that's good, just enlightens that. So this sentence, you're mentioning courage. So now what sentence, what do you think you should be talking about in this sentence?
Yes.
Studying.
So this one is about studying.
Right, good, great, excellent. So she is also fond of political issues, right? We've already read this. And when politics are forbidden, she is also fond. She is also fond of political issues. And when people are forbidden to discuss them, do we need a comma again? Is this like a thing now? Yeah. Under after M. All right, that's interesting. All right. She searches for sources where she can learn about global news. That's okay. But again, all right, that's good. So she is so forbidden. So that's good. So that's studying. So now your final one should be
Confidence.
confident. Exactly. And you can sometimes, maybe you could include one to kind of like tie in all three, leading into courage again, but I don't know. That's all right. All right, good. We've got 10 more minutes. All right. So besides in her heart, there is great confidence. In her heart, there is great, she believes in that. Yes. I wouldn't say besides, because she still has it. She still holds it. So and I would include Malala again, right? Switch it up every other sentence. Malala,
Yes.
her, right? She, right? So I would say in Malala's heart, there is great confidence as she believes that her efforts will one day turn into success or turn successful.
Yeah, turn successful.
Yeah, it's just a little play on words, but that's all right. Turn successful. So Eric, so I think that's a pretty good opening paragraph, right? Introduction, right? I think that's pretty good. So again, your mission, right, for these, we'll read this, we'll finish this, is to is to just so then this one would be courage, right?
Yes.
Right.
It's
Just
the red
elaborate on courage, right? You know how this goes. The second, I like that you use secondly, that's fine. You need to expound on studying, and then finally, right, expound on Eric. Really good. All right, let's read this. I'm gonna read it really quickly. Yeah, depending on what you do, what you want to do for the next session, I think we could jump now to write like 2-page essays, right? To really help you build. I would like for our academic writing, I think 3 pages, once you're able to get a 3-page English essay, you're good for your first year of college, right? In terms of writing a standard freshman first year college essay. If you can do 3 pages, you're well prepared. Okay, the first trait is courage, right? And again, I do double tap. Many adolescents, good. Fear doing anything when facing injustice and discrimination, good. Again, just my preference. I do double tap. Malala, sorry, it's so stuffy in my room, man. Sorry. Yeah. Malala wants all these buildings, Eric, in Chicago and New York, right? San Francisco, they're all old, so it gets stuffy. Okay, the first trait is courage. Many adolescents fear doing anything when facing injustice. Okay, Malala once talked about courage. She regarded courage as the key to success. Nice. Again, this could be abbreviation. We talked about this last week, right? Because you say this really
Yes.
fast. So Malala wants to talk about courage. She regarded courage as the key to success. Nice, good. Malala chooses to stand up fearlessly and take action. And Malala chooses to stand up fearlessly and takes action to support children who can't get an education and women who are abused. Excellent, very nice, Eric. Her actions encourage many youths to fight for their entitlements. Good. Again, right, ending with a preposition. Maybe you could change that a little bit better. It's up to you. You could also, you can do 1 and 2 together, kind of.
Yes, I
Or,
think you can do that.
yeah, structurally, right? You could do 1, 2, and 3. You could do all 3, right, in the middle, in the meat of your essay, right? So then the structure would just be your introduction, right? The meat would be your second paragraph. So you would talk about courage, studying, and confidence. You talk about that in your second paragraph, the big part of your essay. This is for a 1-page essay, right? And then again, in your conclusion, you would round about, or you would what's the word I'm looking for? You would, well, take everything into consideration and consolidate everything, right, into your
Yeah,
final.
summary.
Yes, consolidate. So you can say finally. I wouldn't say finally in your conclusion. I would actually say in conclusion, right? Or something like that. In conclusion, or you can say in summary.
Well, there is something that I missed. So when I wrote it, I have had written the conclusion paragraph, but in it
Okay.
there's not. So I think I sent you like the wrong one, because at last I add the paragraph into the essay.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. All right. Do you think you'll be able to that's good. I'll send this back to you. What do you want to do for next week? Do you want to do a IELTS essay, or it's up to you? Or you want to continue doing English academic essay?
Yeah, so I think in an IELTS
You want to
essay
do
would
it?
be,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool. All
more
right, hold
interesting.
on a second. Let me send this to you, Eric. Hold on. We'll decide on that. And then we'll try to do something fun. No, that's Eric's session. Hold on. Okay. I'll try to do an interesting one. Yeah, really, your mom, well, that's good that your mom picks them out for you, right? Because no, you shouldn't have a choice of which one you want to do, right? So just have your mom pick you out the next IELTS essay, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, tell her to just, pick a random one. She should just, just pick a random, because you're not gonna have a choice, right, when you take the test, but that's right. All right, cool. There was some new Lingua House, Eric, so we'll do that. Let's take a break here. Hold on a second. Let me drop this down, man. Okay, there we go. Where was that? Gmail. There are some new ones that just came in, so we'll see if you like any of them. I know, I really like them, man. I think I wanted to do some essay work for them, but I didn't. Okay, here's one on Norway. They say that's a beautiful country. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, does that sound interesting?
Yeah, it sounds
Okay.
interesting because
Cool.
yeah, I always find the country very beautiful with
Yeah.
its landscapes. I don't know about its English name. It's maybe um uh, uh, I'm not sure its name. It's just like the ocean, but it stretches into its inner part of the country. It's maybe called um in a sea log or something like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is cool. I haven't been. I really want to go. All right, so I'm sending that to you now, Mr. Kong. Here you go, Eric. So visiting Norway. Okay, so warm up. So look at the questions about Norway. All right, so you can do those. Those are really easy. So go ahead and do those. The number one. Yeah, and then try to do 1 and 2. Okay, so let me know when you're done with 1 and 2. Okay, and then we'll log back.
Okay.
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 Okay, sounds good. All right. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Yes.